Okay, so Cardano's ADA has seen its fair share of volatility in the last 24 hours. In yesterday's video, we were talking about going short on Cardano's ADA, looking for an entry at around the $1.05, with the kind of area of take profit a little bit lower, looking at around that kind of $1 level. I did, of course, take this trade, and you can see them on the screen right now. This is what I put out in terms of my entry, my take profit, and my stop loss, and this is what you see when I actually basically close the trade. Now, this was a pretty clean example of kind of short-term volatility that we could expect, right? So up in the chart here, we can see that we had this previous area of support, right? And then we lost this area of support on the 7th of January. This was a test of that area, okay? We're expecting a rejection down to where we were finding previous resistance to turn that into support at around the $1, coinciding with that blue line, which is our 50 exponential moving average, and then this push to the upside afterwards. Now, I didn't catch the long. I should have done. I was a bit busy yesterday with meetings and things like that. So what we had done is we could have gone short here. We had looked for the take profit. What I should have done is actually just reversed the short position and turned it into a long position down here with a stop loss lower than 200 EMA, and again target out the same area. Didn't do that one, but in your profit pit down in the free Discord server, you can see exactly what we did. Now, for those who don't know what that is, essentially what this is a free Discord server down, well, linked in the description down below, right? And in that server, if you are using one of the affiliate links, whether that's BitGet, Blowfin, etc., you can gain access to a specific channel in the Discord where we post what we do. And when I say we, it's not just myself. We have Chris and we have JB, who's our technical analyst in the Discord server. Basically, we post our own trades, what we are doing, and it's in real time, right? So this particular video is being recorded at 0600 hours UTC, right? That's a whole 3 hours before this video actually goes live. Bearing in mind, I have to record it, edit it, upload it, thumbnail, title, SEO, all that kind of stuff, right? So it takes time. So you're not going to get real time data from these videos. These videos are great to give you ideas of structures, how to do things. It also gives you kind of bigger macro pictures for swing trades, spot trades. But when it comes to leverage trades, you need to be in that Discord server linked in the description. And ideally, you want to be paying attention. You want to pay attention to what we're doing actively. Then you want to be in that profit pit, right? And that's the example right there where we saw I did only a 5x leverage position and it was 20% profit. It's really quite simple when you're able to see these things in the chart. But of course, the thing is guaranteed. There's no guaranteed wins. Sometimes you get stopped out, sometimes you win, right? A high win rate is going to be essential. We have approximately 80% success rate with our trading in the Discord server. And anything with a good risk reward ratio of 1.5, you're going to be profitable. Okay, so recapping on yesterday, we could see a good short position. Obviously, from there, we saw the entire crypto market get a bit of a push to the upside. We see XRP going up to $3 and securing $3. Hopefully, that will hold as support. And, well, this particular chart looks very strong for Cardano. It's a good, strong reversal. We broke above the $1.369. And this is actually a really good place for Cardano because it sets the stage of what is potentially to come. Now, we have, obviously, a wick low. And I'm going to go ahead and just grab this line down here and put it down into that wick low, coming in at 87.58 on this hourly chart. A good move to the upside here, looking quite interesting in the way that it's formed. I would suggest that we still potentially have a little bit more to the upside to go, but I don't think it's going to be overly too much before we do start to see a bit more of a correction to the downside. So trading this is going to be quite interesting. I'm looking at this particular area of resistance still, taking a look at our momentum on the hourly chart. It still looks like there's potentially another push a little bit higher, and then I think we're likely to kind of push back down towards the 200 EMA once again. This is pretty textbook stuff because it's basically just extracting liquidity out of the market. Happens a lot in the bear market, more so in the bear market than in the bull market. But you can see here the kind of the patterns that are playing out. Overlapping candlesticks are a key sign that this is a short-term move. Turn the stochastic RSI off and bring in the MACD histogram here. We do see some really interesting kind of things. We do see some bearish divergence forming here. It's not yet in. But I think we might start to see something if we actually have a higher low on the price action right up here. If we have a higher low in that price action, but we go ahead and we set a lower low down here on that histogram, that's going to tell us that this is going to be a very short-term move to the upside, led by a massive kind of, I say massive, but on the hourly chart it might look massive, but a bit of a pullback on the hourly chart here. So looking at this, we have weakness in the moves to the upside. So we have higher highs on price, and whilst we're having higher highs on the price, what do we see? We see higher lows on our histogram here. So we know that this is really a good move, obviously in the market, but it's not really going to be the one that makes or breaks things. And like I said in yesterday's video, I'm expecting a lot of volatility before we get into the inauguration of Donald Trump next week. So the expectations here are going to be that we actually see, unfortunately, a bit more of a volatility, a bit more of a pull to the downside, aligning the charts nicely for next week, because I do expect next week to be green in the market. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's elements of pricing things in here. I think we got the CPI data from yesterday. There's lots of fundamental reasons why we saw these moves yesterday. But nonetheless, I suspect that we are going to be cooling off before we go into inauguration. Whether that's going to be, over the weekend or not, it's up in the air. I can't be specific on timings, but I'm expecting some pretty interesting things next week. So we want to be setting ourselves up for that if we want to see some success in that. So taking a look at our structure then, is the next move really a move to the upside? How high is it likely to go? Well, I'm not looking for anything too major, I don't think. I'm not looking for a bigger break to the upside just yet, and this could be a precursor to our wave 3, of course, but I don't think we're necessarily there just yet. So good moves, good potential ending move structure there, and a little bounce back up into this pocket of resistance, probably around the 107 could be what we see today before tumbling a little bit further. Any breaks into higher highs, again, isn't going to be a definitive kind of breakout situation for Cardano, not yet, but it is going to kind of fuel a bit more longs, which will put more liquidity lower down in the price chart. So the higher this price goes right now, setting higher highs, the more confidence that bullish people are going to have, and that's going to essentially allow more liquidity to sit down here, and price likes to go to where the liquidity is. So I suspect that we're likely to see something like that, a little bit of a push up, maybe into a higher high here, only to come and move on the way down again. Interesting to see how that does play out. But of course, you'll know what I'm doing down in the profit pit in the Discord server. So go ahead and check it out. Linked in the description if you're interested. And of course, I think Blowfin has a lot of really good offers going at the moment. So you can go ahead and click the link in the description down below for Blowfin, and you'll see all their latest offers, as well as BitGet. Those are my two kind of go-to exchanges. I use BitGet quite heavily, and I use Blowfin from time to time as well. Blowfin has the benefit of no KYC, and you have to KYC on BitGet. So it's kind of like yin and yang. You figure out which one you prefer, which one you kind of resonate with best with. If you don't want to do KYC, then Blowfin's the way to go. If you don't mind KYC, then BitGet might be a little bit more intuitive for you. But yeah, check them all both out. They're all in the description down below. Let's go ahead and roll this up into a daily time frame. The daily time frame, as I said, right, we're either still in the wave 2, or we are kind of tracking this wave 3. Now, looking at it, this is a diagonal based pattern that we're tracking here for Cardano, right? We're not in an impulsive trigger point to the upside. This is actually a pretty positive thing, because it does mean that we need to hit 1.618 for our wave 3, which is pretty lucrative. It puts us way up there at 160. So we are looking pretty good on that. The only question I have is, have we finished the wave 2 before we move and continue this move to the upside? So one of the things that I'm a little bit cautious on here is the idea that maybe we have some kind of 3-wave move like this. I think there's a low probability of it. I don't think it's something that we can say is categorically going to happen. So we want to be a little bit mindful of that. The other thing is that it has to be a 3-wave move here. Okay, so we are going to be looking probably for something like a W X Y pattern up into that wave 3. The reason for that is that we are potentially tracking some kind of impulsive trigger points on the smaller timeframes, and these could potentially be nested inside ABC structures. So for those who are unfamiliar with Elliott Wave, you can go ahead and check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗏. But basically what you'd have is you'd have an A, B, and C structure like this. Then you might have another A, B, C structure to the downside like that, and then you have a final kind of A, B, C structure to the upside. This is known as a double zigzag, because you have a zigzag here and a zigzag there. That would be a W up, an X down, and a Y up, right? So you end up something like that. But of course, Elliott Wave is a complicated subject. You'd have to kind of do the research to fully understand exactly what I'm talking about, which is why I put together the whole course. And if you are in the Discord, I know I keep it feels like I'm just selling stuff, but if you're in the Discord, which is completely free to join, I have discount codes for the course material, right? So there's no point in just going to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀com and paying full price on it. Just jump into the free Discord server, and then just, you'll find the discount codes for 50% off, right? So it's well worth joining the Discord. It's completely free, right? You don't have to pay us a subscription fee. You don't have to join the profit pit. You don't have to join the memberships. You don't have to do the Elliott Wave theory course, the smart money concept course, the risk management course, or even the portfolio building course. You don't have to do any of that. In the free Discord server, completely free to join, there's so much more information and such a fantastic community. It's one of the safest places and the safest Discords in the crypto community, in my humble opinion, and just so much more value that you're going to get from everything that we do if you do join. So you don't have to buy anything. There's no sales pitch here. Just join the free Discord. You won't regret it. And you can probably ask people in the comments section or in the Discord what they think about it, because obviously there's no point me telling you. You can hear it from the actual members, right? So for Cardano here, it's all tracking very nicely, and I've been through this a few different times. We are looking for our minimum expectations to kind of get breached here, because at the moment we are still falling inside a larger zigzag pattern, and anything above $1.3808 is going to break out of that zigzag, which is what we want. Okay, and we want to kind of get up into this higher range around 167, because that is going to really kind of confirm that breakout situation is not just a kind of a brief moment to the upside. And then of course our main takeaway for our completing our macro fifth wave here is at $2.27. That there is going to trigger our wave 3 on a bigger macro structure, right? So what do I mean by all of this? If I zoom out, what I've got going on here is that we have an ABC structure from our lows of 2023, ABC, all the way up to our most recent highs, right? Now, we need to breach 1.236 to convert that C wave into a wave 3, which would look like this. You'd have your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3 would happen up here at $2.27. You'd have a correction, and you push up higher, right? So we need to kind of see some of these milestones getting hit so that we can continue this push to the upside in a really strong and meaningful way. At the moment, we can see the internal workings of it, and we're potentially going to be looking for these overextensions, but we can't confirm anything just yet. It's kind of one of those things that's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get there. But nonetheless, everything for Cardano is tracking very well. It is kind of progressing quite nicely, and there isn't really anything of major kind of concern. I don't have any kind of concerns with what I'm seeing inside the price action for ADA at the minute. Now, obviously, there was lots of FUD circulating over the last few years, how Cardano was dead. It's a ghost chain. Nothing's building on it. All these legacy projects, XRP, ADA, Algorand, HBAR, Stellar's XLM, for example. All of these were classed as legacy coins that were dead. They were never going to do anything. And yet these are utility tokens, are the ones that are performing the best right now, outside of kind of pure gambling, speculative, scammy kind of meme coins, right? So it's important that we put everything into kind of context here to understand that projects with true utility are always king in the crypto space, right? Outside of the pure kind of gambling speculative plays that are meme coins and NFTs and things like that. Okay, don't get me wrong, that's not to say that meme coins don't have a place, because they do. They're definitely a great way for entry projects to come into the space, but ultimately they're not really going to have longevity to them. They don't really, they're not something that you're going to want to hold on to for a long period of time. Usually a meme coin is the first thing you're going to want to get rid of, the first thing you're going to want to liquidate, because it's high risk, high reward kind of situations. They are subject to inflationary protocols, so basically just so many tokens and coins out there that don't really have deflationary mechanisms, and you'd have to see a significant amount of capital inflowing to kind of see significant growth. A lot of the kind of metrics around supply demand and things like that don't really stack up when it comes to trillions of coins and stuff like that. Of course, not all meme coins are built the same. Some meme coins are very different. They might start off that way and they progress into something else. But obviously I digress a little bit. Now, meme coins are very important to ecosystems, specifically in getting new users in, and of course bringing in transactional volume, which can have a great effect to L1s. Take a look at Solana, for example, where there's 25,000 shitcoins that are created every month, and of course that helps bring in more transaction fees on Solana, for example, right? So understanding some of those dynamics are important. It's easy for me to sit here and say all meme coins are shit and all that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily technically true, but hopefully you can kind of read between the lines in what I'm trying to say here, that ultimately projects that actually have real world use case are generally going to perform significantly better in the longer term, right? And as an investor, you need to invest in something that is for a specific time horizon, whereas a meme coin isn't really an investment as such. It's more of a gamble play. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not just, hating on altcoins and stuff like that, or meme coins and stuff like that. And I'm not a Cardano maxi either, right? There's many projects that I'm invested in. I have over 50 different projects in my personal portfolio. Cardano is only one of them, right? And I see this one performing well because of the structures and everything else that is going on in terms of the technical analysis, the fundamental side, the research, kind of peer-reviewed approach and things like that, the academic research and the methodical approach to all of the ways that they apply. These are all things that stack up personally with me, and so why I think Cardano is in the kind of the right path for success in the long term, backed up with the technical analysis that seems to also kind of coincide nicely with all of that. So as you can see from this video, I've done lots of ranting, everything from the Discord server, the profit pit, the Elliott Wave theory course, all the way through to the technical analysis and structures, and of course understanding the market dynamics as they are at the moment are crucial parts of understanding why Cardano has the potential to do phenomenally well. Okay, so I'm not concerned. The price actions kind of behaved very nicely. We capitalized on it yesterday, not as much as maybe I should have done. But nonetheless, everything is kind of playing all out quite nicely for ADA. Now it's your turn. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Do you think that Cardano is on the path to success? Or better still, because the scammers are rife here on the YouTube channel and in the comment section, I can't combat them. Every time I ban them, they just come back even more. The bots are just out of control. We don't have the same problem in the Discord server. So join us in the Discord and let's continue the conversation down there. Hit that like button, guys, spread the content far and wide, subscribe for more, and of course, if you haven't done so, check that video out right there. It's one you probably don't want to miss.